Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it is a Monday and I know you're normally expecting an in-depth collection, but as I promised, this is episode 3 of the Actor Factor. So this is Mr. Nicolas Cage. So this series has kind of taken a bit of an evolution. I'm slowly going through it. So what I kind of come to the realisation that going through everything like I own of these actors and actresses is just bombarding people and probably a bit boring. So what I've done is done a top 10. So obviously all the actors and actresses alike have been around quite a lot of years. So they've accumulated quite a lot of backlog of a filmography. So yes, so for Nicolas Cage, I have obviously watched many of his movies back in the day, and I have dissected it down to 10. Now one of them I don't actually own, so I'll have to insert a picture there, but that's fine with me. The others are there. I'll explain the reasons why. And yeah, and let's get into it. So at number 10 is Kick-Ass. So anybody who hasn't seen this, Nicolas Cage has a, I would say, bit to small medium role of this as Big Daddy. He is the kind of mentor, the Batman figure to his apprentice Hit Girl. And yeah, it's really, really good. This is based off a Mike Miller comic and and a Romita Jr. artist. These two got together and created this series. Really good. I really like 1 and 2. 1, I say it was really good. He had quite a powerful part to playing this role of the mentor figure, which is something you don't see too much from Nicolas Cage. It was him dressed up as almost like a Batman type figure, and obviously we all know he wanted to play the Superman figure, so this was quite nice that he got some sort of part from that. So yeah, so that is number 10, Kick-Ass. Obviously these are my opinions, these are my views. I'm sure people disagree. If you do disagree, if you don't disagree, you know, let me know down in the comments below if you agree with me. So number 9, National Treasure. Now I do love this film. I think 1 and 2 are quite good. It's a shame that it didn't carry on. It's a shame that the series hasn't got well received, so there's no need to bring it back. I know they were thinking of doing a third one, which I think they should have done. This kind of was a bit later in his acting career when he went a little bit downhill, and I say downhill is unfortunately he had a lot of financial issues. I think that has caused him to not be as picky, and a big period of him not doing very many good or what is considered to be good roles. But yeah, I like this, a bit of treasure, a bit of mystery, trying to figure stuff out. It was really, really good. I say 1 was just a out of kind of left field for him. I think that, you know, he probably just did this not thinking it would go anywhere, and it was a really, really good film, good acted, you know, all the players involved, and yeah, so that is my number 9. So number 8, I'm sure a lot of people would have thought this is a big thing, but it is The Rock. So I do very much love this movie. I do hold this in quite high regards. And the reason it is just not as high as he did quite a few blockbusters in the 90s. And just as much as I love this one, the rewatchability for me, I've watched it a few times. I do enjoy it from there, but I think it has its limits. I don't think I think watching this too many times probably flood your brain a little bit too much. Plus I think it devaluates that. There are a lot of little elements that go into this, but I do think this is a very good one from Jerry Bruckheimer, I believe. Yep, Jerry Bruckheimer Productions. So that is number 8, The Rock. Oh yes, Sean Connery. Number 7 we have is Matchstick Men. So I did really like this when it came out. I do still really like this. This was a hard one for me to place because out of all of them, this is the one I've seen only a few times and I can't recall all of it, which is why I remember each time watching it, I really, really liked it. And I liked a lot of elements and stuff that go with it. I like the kind of whole storyline of the kind of criminals, but they're not, but there's elements, you know, tied in. But because my memory is a little bit fuzzy, I haven't placed it as high as in my mind I'm thinking it is. I'm being a little bit reserved just to say I haven't seen it. I could have watched all of the 10 movies beforehand to this, but he's got so many films I'd have to watch every one to try and pick out the ones I really, really like and really, really don't like and stuff. But yeah, that's definitely number 7 for me, Matchstick Men. Number 6, Gone in 6 the second. You see what I did there? So yeah, that was just convenient. It was in the number 6 role, but I did really like this movie. Obviously, I do like cars. I'm not the biggest car fan in the world, but like you go into movies and you watch Fast and Furious come out and you really want, oh yeah, it really feels you. It has a really good all-star cast with Angelina Jolie and a few others. Robert Duvall, is he, I think, in it? Yeah, Robert Duvall is in it. And a few other people. And it just makes up, stealing all the cars at the same time and all, it's again another kind of heist movie that works really well. And he does, play the lead character and tie everything in really, really well. So that is number 6. So we're at the halfway point there. So number 5, we have The Family Man. So this is very much, I feel this is kind of a Christmas movie. So this is a businessman who is very successful, and then due to a set of events wakes up and actually he isn't who he is. He's in the suburbs, he has a wife, he has a family, and he goes through all learning he doesn't recall any of this and having to learn to kind of get used to this, and it kind of makes him a more human person, for him to then wake up back again to where he initially was when he disappeared, and to realise that this was kind of a glimpse of what he'd lost. So kind of the free ghost, if you imagine, from A Christmas Carol, but this is kind of the future that could have been, or the present that could have been, or the past that could have been, so to speak, all tied into one. And I think it's really good. It is a nice kind of Christmas, has a heartfelt movie. Doesn't end what you were expecting to do, but a few twists and turns and stuff in it are really, really good. So number 4 I'll have to put here because I don't actually own it, and this is Pig. So anybody who has seen this is Nicolas Cage. This is a very recent one, and one that actually kind of blew me away. I'd seen quite a lot of Nicolas Cage's movies around the time, the Jiu-Jitsu one and stuff, and I wasn't too impressed, and maybe that dulled me a little bit to this. But Pig was an amazing movie. It is about Nicolas Cage, who is a former chef who just goes into the woods and doesn't want to be disturbed, and he has a pig that kind of helps him find truffles, and unfortunately that pig gets kidnapped, and he kind of goes on a revenge act to try and get his pig back. Lots of twists and turns. You don't know much about that he is a chef or that. All of that is kept quite secret, and it's just a really good acted story. The plot, how it is written, how it is acted, really, really well. And Nicolas Cage shines in this movie. And when I saw this, I could not speak highly enough to anyone of it. I bought it for my dad, I bought it for a few friends, and I thought, overall it was exceptional, if I can get the words out. So yes, so that was number 4. So we're down to the final 3, and at number 3, which is, I'm sure people are going for this kind of quite hard what to do, it is Face Off. So I love this movie. The fact that each character is kind of the good guy and the bad guy in it, and they have to kind of take on each other's persona, works really, really well. Castor Troy and stuff, and there are comments and phrases from this I still keep to this day. I really, really like how the two work well together. This is kind of the heyday of these two actors who maybe aren't on that plane of acting, or don't regularly have that kind of, but this is such an amazing film, and a concept that hadn't really, I think, been done to change into someone else and to have the is he, isn't he, and stuff like this. And I thought really, really good. So number 3. Number 2, Con Air. Put the bunny back in the box. So absolutely love this film. Obviously has 2 of my favourite actors technically in this. So John Cusack and Nicolas Cage. John Malkovich. You've got Steve Buscemi. Danny Trejo is in it. And just, an absolute, I think it's a Jerry Bruckheimer one as well. Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer Productions. Just, Nicolas Cage is Cameron Poe, a criminal that wants to get back to his daughter. He wants to be released from thing, and then obviously Cyrus the Virus decides to hijack the plane, and obviously John Cusack is a cop that's trying to stop him, and it's all the stuff that goes on in between it. There are some dark sides of it. There are some funny sides of it. Just Steve Buscemi singing, he's got the whole world in his hands as the plane's going down. There are violent criminals, the stereotypical violent criminals that you would see in it, but you know, it's the glory, you know, he survives and makes it in the end. But it's such a good kind of action film from the 90s, very much high up there, especially because it has two of my favourite actors of all time. So you're probably thinking, hang on, he's done most of the big ones. Am I going to bring out like Bringing Out the Dead for number one, or is it like Raised in Arizona or stuff like that? And you'd be completely wrong if you went that way. I have gone with City of Angels. So this I absolutely adore. I first found out about this movie, funny enough, from the Iris song for the Goo Goo Dolls. And then I come across the movie, and it is such a kind of poetic, I would almost say Romeo and Juliet type of movie, but not. It is obviously, Nicolas Cage is an angel. He is following around dead bodies to take the souls onto the other life, and he comes across Meg Ryan and realises that he wants to become a fallen angel so he could go to Earth and spend time with her. And obviously it is this journey of this happen and what he sacrifices and has to go through, and how that story may not necessarily work out the way you originally would expect it to be. But yeah, brilliant soundtrack, brilliant acting, brilliant, you know, the screenplay and story and everything to come to it, and just how everything is set up is really, really good. And just, you know, sometimes you don't need a conventional happy ending to enjoy a movie. So yes, this has been my number one for the actor factor for Nicolas Cage. So we do have a few more actors and actresses to go, but I'll leave them for a little while. Next week we will return to the in-depth collection, because I'm sure you want to see more, and obviously we have so much more to go through that we need to start speeding that up maybe. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please, if you're watching this video and you do enjoy it, feel pressing that subscribe button. I do appreciate it. Come along. You know, I am always finding ways to improve my content, so that more people who watch it and can give me feedback is always appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff you want to do. Otherwise, I shall see you in the next one.